Ever wonder what happens when you stop pretending and feel? I am Amanda Andrade, founder of Mastering Relationship Academy and author of If You Allow It, You Can Feel It. This is the journey unscripted, real conversations, unscripted moments, and the emotional truths that connect us all. Let's jump in. Today's journey, I'm here with Simone, who is an intuitive healer and coach who helps late diagnosed and self-diagnosis ADHD in neurodivergent women reconnect with their true selves, and after years of masking, using her own experience and work with ADHD families, she combines healing, mindset shifts, and daily rituals to help women to feel confident, aligned, and authentic. Her mission is never too late to live the life you were meant to. Thank you, Simone, for being here. It's really a pleasure. And let's jump in. Could you just share with all of us how was it your journey to the point that you started, like that, having self-diagnosis to the moment that you are now, please?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you want to know about my journey from being diagnosed?
Yes, to being diagnosed and how that it's been unfolding, and how
Mhm.
has your life been from that point on?
Yeah. I think my diagnosis came after my daughter's diagnosis. So seeing her and noticing that we were very much alike and that some of the things that she was finding difficult are things that I found difficult as well. Um, so I went and then got my own diagnosis. I joined the dots before that, but then I went and got the official diagnosis, which I don't think you need. I got that for my daughter, really, so that she knew that we were the same and we'd both been on the same journey and I could support her.
And,
But since
and how that journey will look like? What makes you just realize what were difficult? What was the point that triggered you?
yeah, so mine, I mean, before the diagnosis came the burnout, which I think that's quite common actually for a lot of neurodivergent women who have probably spent most of their life masking. And I don't think I masked as a child. I was thinking about this earlier because it's proven that girls mask more than boys. That's why girls are underdiagnosed. They don't get diagnosed, whereas boys do because they're very like out with the symptoms of the ADHD, or they'll show it. They're not scared. They don't want to hide it. Whereas us women really want to fit in, be like everyone else. So we'll watch what other people are doing and copy to try and, just stay with the crowd basically so we don't get pushed out. And I think as a child, I think my story is a little bit different because I don't think I masked when I was younger. I was very black and white. I knew my own mind, but I was very forward in I would push my views onto everyone. My way was the right way. That was my kind of way of going about it. So I don't think a lot of people maybe struggled with how I was. And then when I became a bit older, in my late teens, and I went into relationships, that's when it was pointed out to me that the way I was acting maybe wasn't the right way. I've done the hyphens, but
Yeah, yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
yeah,
Whenever we say right away, we're just like sharing that there is no right and wrong.
exactly.
That was our own perception of right. That's why I can relate it to that, because whenever I say right or wrong, it's just a perception that we have in that moment. So yeah,
Yes.
we thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I always say that because I'm like, well, that's their perception, their view of it. It's not everyone's, and it's not the right one. But yeah, so they pointed out to me that I was maybe people struggled to be around me, which they weren't great relationships, to be honest. They were quite tricky relationships, but I came out of each one a little bit different every time, and to a point where I felt like I didn't really know who I was anymore.
Hmm.
So I was putting me across how I thought I should be. So I went through different phases, people pleasing, being so nice to everyone that people would like me. They had absolutely no reason to dislike me. I wasn't being rude even though I hadn't realized I was apparently being rude. I wasn't being rude. I was being nice. And I just went through all those stages of I just wanted to be accepted. I just wanted to be liked. And I lost who I was. And I used to look at other people who seemed to be so confident. And I just wanted to be able to be confidently me. But I'd lost who that was. I couldn't find it. It's like she was just buried. And I didn't know where she was to be able to pull her back out. So I had this it was a small desire, I'd say, to bring her out. And I kept thinking, I just want to get back to being me. Like, I just want to get back to the me that I was when I was younger. And I wasn't bothered about what people thought. And I didn't have to second guess. And I didn't have to overthink everything that I was going to say or that I'd said. Do you know? It was because that's what I'd spend a lot of time doing, picking apart things I'd done or things I'd said, making sure I hadn't accidentally offended anyone. So it was exhausting to the point that I didn't really like socializing because of all the doubt, the self-doubt and the checking afterwards that I hadn't upset anyone. It was just too hard. If I went out the next day, I'd sit all day thinking, I wonder if I offended them when I said that. And I'd pick it apart and be like, how will they have taken that? I wonder if I said it in the right way. It was just so tiring. And I think after years and years of that, I got to a point in my professional life where I couldn't maintain it anymore. And I knew that things had to change.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing your story, right? And what got my attention also was just like whenever you were in those relationship with those men in your life and they were thinking like, oh, this is right or this is wrong, it was a behavior that they were expecting you to have it, or just it was your own behavior just to be in your authentic self. Can you just opening up in that regard about like behaviors, because I think that would be very enlightening for our audience that is listening.
Yeah. So I am diagnosed ADHD, but I think there's probably it's probably likely that I am autistic as well. My son is autistic, so the neurodivergence is within our family, which it's intergenerational. And I think because I'm so very black and white, I would be quite direct in how I said things. Like everything is one way or another, and I would just tell people. And maybe I didn't give the body language that they were expecting. So maybe I didn't sugarcoat things. I would just say what I was thinking without checking whether it was okay to say it. And I didn't realize there was anything wrong with that. I mean, and I don't think there is anything wrong with it, but they picked up on the fact that people find me abrupt and they'd apologized for me. That was a big shocking thing, actually. One of my ex-partners said to me, oh, I've explained to her that, you're not being rude. It's just how you speak. I went, what do you mean? And he said, well, because sometimes you're a bit rude. I said, oh, well, I didn't realize I was rude. He said, that's just the way you say things. You're not meaning to be it. But he was going around and apologizing to other people about me doing things like that.
Yes, please go ahead.
No, go on, sorry.
No, yeah, no sorries over here. we are just like sharing this beautiful journey. And what I see, it's really like, because from my own experience, it's just being authentic and being honest. And sometimes people are not ready to listen what they don't want to see. And because we are very straight to the point, and we just would like to set things like grounded and clear, they receive as an aggression. They receive as, oh, you've been rude to me. Yes, I can agree that the way that we can say things can change and be more like warmth, like, oh, I would like to share something with you. Are you able to, or not able, are you willing to listen? And so that's my own transformation, comes from their feedbacks as well. And as I was just like seeing the body language of the receiver on my past relationships, and I start noticing, oh, okay, his body reacting that way that means that he did not receive the way that I want, the way that I meant. So let me check in. That's how I started to get it out from my mind and not having those self dialogues internally, but yet communicating that and getting that feedback. And that's exactly what you just share with us in here. It's really like, okay, let me see from now, how can I just deliver something that is truth for me, and then I honor my truth self, and then it's not going to hurt that person.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was trying to find a way of doing that, but I think I went the complete opposite direction to then not saying anything that I thought might upset, not expressing myself, not showing who I am authentically in case I upset somebody or in case it was taken in the wrong way. And that's when all the masking fully came in then. So I would say I was about 17, and that went on until mid-30s.
And how has been that journey that you just mentioned from 17 to middle 30 for you just to embrace your authentic self and really step into to your own power and just express, be yourself, and still following following through with your relationships? And can you just share how was it to uncovering the your true self, please?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually loved this journey because it's been, I'm 41 now. So from to mid 30s, I started. So I say I've been on this journey for about 5 years. This unmasking journey is what I call it. And it's been amazing. The way I feel now sat here is just like me. And that's the biggest part of it, because before I was always thinking, who should I be? How should I show up? And now in my heart, I just feel like me. And that's just amazing, because I wasn't sure I'd ever get back to that. I feel like the girl that I used to do when I was a child, and I could express myself and not worry about it. And I don't do it in a rude way, and I don't upset people. But I now share me, and that's what's been amazing about it. The journey was fantastic because I've done so many different healing along the way that I think I've tried absolutely everything holistically,
Yes,
and
yes.
I've just loved it. I've just absolutely, each little thing that I've done has probably unlocked another little bit. Do you know, it's just been a little journey where, right, we've unlocked that bit. We did some inner child healing. That was massive. Actually, inner child healing was huge for me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, talking about inner child, it's really embrace and meet all the needs that our inner child did not have in the past. And once we are able to meet our inner child needs, we just liberate that child to be fully accepted, fully seen, and fully heard for ourselves, from our adult selves. And that is the beauty of like the inner healer, the inner work, and the healing the inner child. And once we embracing and just self acceptance, I typically say radical acceptance, because it's really embrace the part of you that was rejected and denied for so long. And that's how I can see why we as a neurodivergent in ADHD people has so much sensitivity with rejection, because that rejection is started in our past with ourselves. Whenever we just neglect, deny, and reject our own inner being because we were not acceptable in the family, in the school, in the society, from what was the expectation of others. And because we were not meeting the expectations, we deny ourselves. And whenever we make the choice to, I use this to rescue our inner child and really embrace and bring it to life and just like, yeah, let's have fun and let's create and just let's just be us. And we don't seek for validations anymore because we are already in the space of accepting who we are and accepting our gifts, accepting our weakness. But as the neuroscience explains, we have the neuro neuroplasticity that can support us to strengthen our weakness and work towards to strengthen them. And that's the beauty of it. And how was it for you to embrace your self-worth in those moments, because it's really about self-worth. How we just stand up for our values and then embrace it. Could you just share with us about the self-worth journey, please?
Yeah. So the the inner child healing that I did, the one that stands out to me, and I've done lots of different things, and I still work a lot with my inner child now, which I actually love, because they're always, you just carry them, don't you? Once you've done the healing, I carry her in my heart, and I'm always making sure she's good, because if she's good, we're good. It's so lovely. But when I went back, and I'm just going to tell you about when it changed. I was on a retreat and we'd done an inner child meditation, and we'd gone back to our inner child. It's the simplest process, and my inner child was there, and all I did in that moment was just give her what she needed. And she was just there. She was on her own, and all she wanted was a hug and for me to hold her hand. Literally, oh, it's making me feel a bit emotional because it was just because she was just, yeah, I just, and you know what, I could forgive her, because I think we hold a lot of shame of things we did when we were younger. And when I gave her a hug and I held her hand, I thought that's all she needed. She was crying out for this, like her behavior might have expressed something, but she needed that.
Hmm.
And then I was like, she was a child. She didn't know any better. Everything was, so many little synchronicities that all happened at the same time. And in that moment, when we came back from that meditation, I put her in my heart, carried her, made sure she was always looked after. She didn't have to be independent. She didn't have to look after herself. Someone was looking after her. And when I left that retreat, I was like walking differently. I was walking straighter. I had to fly on my own, and I was like a power woman walking through the airport. I just felt alive. I was like, I was a completely different person to the person who'd arrived there. And it was just from that process of just being able to forgive her, give her what she needed and forgive. And then that, to me, helped my self-worth, because all that stuff that happened when I was a kid, I didn't, I wasn't expected to know not to do that. I'm a child. So all the shame that I'd held for so many years was forgiven and resolved, and my self-worth just grew. I just felt so good about myself.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Yeah, all of the belief systems that is being in our subconscious mind, and the way that I've been witness ADHD people and neurodivergent people, it's the way that they process the beliefs in the body. That's why they're restless. It is in the body, not in the mind itself, because they don't know how to process this in the body. They go to the mind, but the mind has all of those belief systems that was being programmed in the childhood. But it's actually it's in the body, and how can we release that energy from the body? And you just mentioned that you've been working with so many modalities with your inner child, but any specific modality that you've been working within your body, like any exercise? How do you do to process that energy in your body?
Yeah. So now how I do it, because I talk about the daily rituals, because they're so important for us as neurodivergent women to be able to process the energy that we have, the extra energy that we have every day that we sometimes just keep contained inside. I have daily practices or daily rituals that I do that support me, because it needs to be little and often. It can't just be one thing that you do intensely and then move on and think it's still going to keep working. It has to be an everyday thing, and just incorporating it in that way means it becomes a habit, and then you're not going to forget to do it, which is what we do as well. We forget about things like, oh, that worked really well, but we've forgotten about that now. We're not using that anymore. Oh, yes.
Yes.
All the time. I do it.
Yes. And then how did you forget? I was like, I forgot. Is that something, that
Yeah, it's crazy.
uh, because it's natural to us to forget.
Yes, absolutely. Goes out of our mind.
And once I accept that, life changed, and
Yeah.
but also it is the trust in the divine, trust in the higher self, God, uh, whatever people would like to address. For me, it's one unique source. It's God, creator. I have many ways to call because we talk about language, right? But it's that source that I came from that will never let me down,
Yeah.
will never put myself in trouble. My mind can put myself in trouble, but my spirit, once I am connected, I can just let it go, the worries about it, and trust that will come, and that will come when I need it. And that is the beauty of it, when I need. And yeah, so it's so
Trust.
nice also to hear from you that I change my rituals time to time, because I can get a little like boring with something. It
Yeah.
just depends. It's not boring. I get overstimulated
Yeah. Yeah.
doing that like all the time, right?
Yeah.
So and then I shift. So this way I also shift my way of thinking and processing things. It's just so beautiful how that works. But your mention about your ritual, for me, at least, Simone, is just having routine that I
Yes.
need. I need to have a routine, in which I denied before. Back in my culture, we did not have routines. We're just like, let's do things around, and okay, I need to do this now, I do. And then like that was very like, we changed. We didn't have time to go to bed. We didn't have time like to have lunch. Yes, we still have it, but routine, which is crucial for neurodivergency, for people that has that particular way of processing thoughts and feelings. And not only for us, it's a human thing. We all need routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
but but
Completely
talk,
agree.
but talk about your rituals you are saying that you've been doing.
Yeah, so I do rotate them. So some days I won't do all of them. It just depends, but I think having a bank of them that you can go to when you're feeling dysregulated, or if you're feeling a little bit down because your energy is feeling down, because I think that's what we have to deal with, like the cycles of our energy, knowing that we're going to feel up, we're going to feel down, but actually having something to help us that we can choose which one we're going to use, that we feel interested in. That's the way to do it. So for me, my top three are probably, so I ground. I will go outside, take my shoes off, walk around in the grass, bit of breathe, look at the trees. So grounding for me is like getting really present in where I am. So it'll be, or even if I just go for a walk, and it'll be looking at the trees, noticing what I can see, what can I hear, what's bringing myself back into the present moment. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not all over the place. Because I do think, I'm going a little bit off topic, I'll go back to my rituals, but like with ADHD, with neurodivergence, I do feel like it's we're very old souls. Like we are very spiritual. We are here for a reason. Like it's there's a lot of strengths to it, but because of that, sometimes we're not in the present. We can be all out wherever we are. So it's just for me, always just try and bring yourself back to present if you feel out. How
Yes.
can you do it? And you mentioned about the body. So I am an EFT practitioner, which is tapping, emotional freedom technique. So that, yeah, because it's all the trauma or beliefs or anything stored in the body, you can tap it out. So for me, tapping's probably the main one. If I'm dysregulated, I always go to tapping because it
Mm-hmm.
just soothes my nervous system so I can get out of fight or flight and carry on with my day without it affecting me too much. And I love that one. And I do meditate if I'm in the right frame, if I can sit still and meditate. So, I don't always go to that one. It's probably not my top one because I have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to do it. But that comes into it. Yeah. And I think just playing music, changing my energy in my body, just doing something to change my state. So I have a little library of so many different ones, but it's like you said about trust. I know in the moment the one that I will help me the most of that I want to use comes to mind. I'm like, yes, I can go and do that.
Yeah, beautiful. You mentioned about meditation, right? So it's very interesting because that's how I self-diagnose myself with ADHD through meditation. I was going through in a process in a meditation series with one of my mentors, with was just um, geometric meditations, talk about geometries, right? And has all of those systems with the chakras. And then I have to sit every day and counting in and just doing the process with the sacred geometry meditation. And then at one moment, I was losing the counts. My mind was in another way, and I was like, and I come back to the breathing, but I missed the counts that I have to do it, and I was like, this is this is normal. Why I'm not concentrated? And then I sit still, and gotta do it, and we are high achievers. We set ourselves, and then we're gonna make sure that we're going to achieve that. And the other thing also that we put so much expectation. I used to do that before because nowadays I've been regulating that is standard, right? So we have high values because you just mentioned about the spirituality. Yes, we have this connection with source, so like pure. It's just we just lose the attention, just like appreciating source. That's why we go through the outside to ground ourselves to be in here. So that connection is just easy for us just to appreciate. But and then the grounding part, it's really come back to our body, which is our house, and it's safe to be in here. And then in that moment that I was not achieving what I set for myself, right? I start to feel frustrated. What's wrong with me? Why I'm not doing this? That's when my journey started, and I start to researching why I'm not concentrating in meditation. I was just doing all of that. Okay, oh, maybe you have this. It's like, and I start noticing my patterns. I start noticing how I was like having this interaction with others and with the food. Because before, my way of suppressing uncomfortable feeling and repressing was eating disorder. I would eating everything because we seek for the dopamine pics, right? Oh, let me get this sugar. Dessert was my favorite. Oh my goodness, let me eat it all. And just and eat and eat. I was like, okay, this is not right. And so that's when I started to see and look and researching. I was like, okay, I believe that I have those symptoms. And I believe that I am just having these similarities. Let me do a 30 days sugar free to see how my brain will work, like, because I was not having focus. That's how that started. Oh, I'm not having focus. What can I do to improve my focus? Because just like you, I choose to go holistic. And if I can just prevent, I'm all about that. My goal is to get in my old stage of life, not taking any medication, any, because our body it's whole and complete. We just need to be aware about what we put in our body, because also our gut it's our second brain. That's how we regulated our nervous system. And then in that moment, I researched all of that. I was like, 30 days sugar free. Let's see. And I did it 30 days sugar free. And was just like, so clear. No, I did not have brain foggy. My focus was just like through. And then I couldn't do the meditation. I was like, okay, I'm doing the meditation. This is nice. And so that's how I started to change my diet as well. Because we need to be aware about our diet. It's crucial, especially that we have this different neural pathway of being, and to regulate our emotions, because we are very sensitive too. We are very empathetic. We observe people in it.
Very.
And at the same time, because we have that empathetic for that empathy for that person, we just, okay, let me give. That's why you're saying giving, giving, giving. But what I noticed back in there, it is about boundaries, energetically boundaries. But like you just mentioned once, oh, I lost who I was it in the relationships, right? That is so important for all of us to have solitude, to really connect with who you are. So this way you can stand in your values and your principles, love yourself, get that boundaries to, oh, what do I accept, what I don't, and then you can communicate that with others. And once we do that energetically, we don't feel drained as before. And then our energy, it's still, because that had it before that exchange as well. Oh, I'm feeling this way, but this is not who I am energetically. And yeah, I think this journey it's really fascinated. I would say once we embrace it, once we accept who we are, right?
Yes.
And I would love to hear from what you have to say from all of this, but also I'd like to share I would like you to share with us about your family experience, having children and all of that. Can you just share that, please?
Yeah. So I think that was part of me realizing that I was neurodivergent as well, was just how difficult it was to be a mum to three children, who all my middle daughter has ADHD and my youngest son is autistic, and they've all got their own different things going on. And then I have to be the regulated space for them so that they can co-regulate from me and they can feel safe with me. But sometimes my energy, I was not regulated. I didn't know how to come back to myself because I wasn't doing any of these practices that we've just been talking about. I wasn't doing anything on a morning. I didn't have any daily rituals. I wasn't really exercising, which I use movement a lot now, a lot. That's my go-to on a morning. And I know if I don't get up and do at least 20 minutes of something moving my body,
Yeah.
I'm going to feel not great through the day. It's going to affect me.
Yeah.
It has. Well, when you spoke about diet, I was like, do you know what? Because I do a lot of things and I do the movement and the rituals. Diet is probably not one I've explored because I love sugar and I don't want to stop eating it. But I should. When you were saying about the clarity, I thought I need to do. But I am a dopamine sugar seeking, like in the sweet cupboards, eating as many sweets as a bit of a secretive sweet eater as well, because it'll be when there's no one there getting all the dopamine.
Yeah, girl,
So
I
yeah.
understand. But listen, yeah, sometimes I get out of the track, right? Because I'm gonna get some. That is a brand over here that what is they call in here? I just forgot the brand, but that is one cooking here, United States, that is just like so good. And then I go over there, and then I can just sit and eat one packet, and then I eat. And then after eating that packet, I judge myself.
Mm.
I criticize myself why you did it. That used to be once I become aware of that, and better because it was a trap for that, right? Criticize myself. Why did you eat that packet of cookies? You know better. Your body's gonna react. All of the judgment. And when I do and pick the pack of the cookies, I just let it go. I'm conscious about this decision. I'm eating this, and then that is going to make me feel good, and I let it go,
Amazing.
and then I come back to my routine and all of that. But yeah, Gail, before, oh goodness, desserts and all of that. But if I can share my own experience, it is a freedom because I mean sugar really controls. It's a drug.
Yeah, it definitely is. I have learned a bit more about it recently, but I've not got to that stage where I can say I'm going to walk away because because I'm totally addicted to it. My brain is just seeking the dopamine that's, the transmitters, and it gives it that boost that we need. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I think when I was probably as a young parent, because I was only young when I had my first daughter, I was 23 or 24. So quite young. None of my friends had children. And I think I was I was probably eating a lot. I wasn't doing the exercise. I wasn't doing any of the things that I now use that help me. So my journey felt really difficult. And because I felt like I needed to be this mum that I would see, the mum, I think because I was younger, I wanted to be a certain way. You want to prove yourself. I'm young, but I can do it. Um, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and then I could keep that up for so long. But then I'd just blow. And I'd have these moments where I was really dysregulated. And I thought, I don't want my children to grow up seeing that mum keeps it together for a while, and then she loses it. And then she keeps it together again. And then I just thought, I don't want to get stuck in that pattern where I'm shouting at them, and that's what the start of my parenting journey was like. So that's when I then started to explore a little bit more about how I can support them in a way that feels good to both of us, but also understanding myself better and knowing myself better, because then I don't have to have that shame around it. I know why it's happening because I've got ADHD and I find it hard to regulate my emotions. So what can I do? What can I do that's going to stop those? And it's knowing yourself, isn't it? Putting these practices in and understanding when you need to just go and sit on your own outside so that you can show up for your kids. And I think that was my journey. They've obviously had all their things going on. And I think the life of a mum with neurodivergent children is very busy. There's a lot of life admin, which when you're ADHD is hard to manage. So I think I had that going on with my 3 children. I was a full-time teacher. And that's, I think, when I got to the stage of burnout, because I just couldn't maintain it up.
Yeah. I mean, girl, congratulations for your efforts. And I truly believe that being a mom, like being parents, right? It's the hardest career that you can ever have as a human being because it's raising a human being and through values, through an interface with the world, right? Because you don't raise your children for you raise from the word. And how you standing up in the values, like no screens, because this is a drug for the brain as well. That's the new generation drug. And you gotta stand up and go against to the entire world to set. this is my values, this is how I'm gonna raise my children, and for them to thrive in life. It is the hardest career, and I honor you because this is a choice that you made it, and that is your growth with them. And just for you to doing this itself, it is already a successful journey, and it's being unscripted and all, but it's still your own journey with them. And could you share how has been your husband or partner support the kids father in that time for you and for them? Could you just share with us?
Yeah, I mean they have a great relationship like with their dad, and I've got my girls with my ex-partner, and they've my two older girls, so they've got a brilliant relationship with their dad. He's been really present for them throughout their lives. And I mean, now my eldest is now 17 and my middle one is 14. Like 17, she's 18 in February. So she's getting to the stage where she's an adult. She's going out as an adult, but we have a fantastic relationship. And I think it's, and the same as the relationship she has with the dad. And I feel happy. So I'm like, we've done that right. They've had support from both of us, and it's been ups and downs, and different as it is for all families, and our journey might have looked completely different to other families, but it's worked for us. My husband now is fantastic. Like, he's a brilliant stepdad, he's a brilliant dad, and he works a lot, so that's where I am more flexible in my work around his work. But he does that because his values are providing for his family. He sees that as something that he should be doing because that's one of his values. So he fulfills that. And then he's also just brilliant with them as well when he's here. Because it's tricky when you've got three children with very different needs who all can annoy each other quite a lot. Because we've got my son who likes a lot of quiet and calm. And then my daughter, who's ADHD, is the absolute opposite of that. She's very hyperactive, very loud, very messy. Yeah, she is like, she's just a party all on her own. She's fantastic. Like, her character, she's fiery, she's strong, she expresses her boundaries, like, her boundaries. But I love that because that's I see me before I stopped doing that. So I'm like that to her. I'm trying to show her that this is you and it's okay to be like that. Don't ever let anyone tell you it's not. As long as you don't border too the other way. You don't want to be too rude, but you're okay where you are now. So yeah, them being so different and being in the same house it's a journey. It's them learning to get along, which I hear a lot from neurodivergent families. They say, how can I get siblings to understand each other? Because, if you've got maybe a child who, it could be that a child's autistic, like with my family, and then you've got a child with ADHD, which are they can present very differently, and then they don't understand each other, and there can be a lot of arguments. So navigating things like that has been interesting, but we've done it.
Yeah, that's once and again, I honor your journey because it is really challenge for you to get balancing out with yourself first, and with the kids, and with a wife, and with a healer. Look at that.
Yeah.
How many roles you're playing, girl. That's why you have the gifts that you have, so this way you can fulfill all of the roles that you're playing. And I'm sure that everybody that would like to step into their power as you did it could accomplish all of that. But it's really step into your power and do the work, because doing the work, it's setting us free from our own illusion. And talking about that, how has been for you doing the inner work? Because you mentioned like, oh, I'm doing inner work now with my inner child. For me, it's a long time. It's a lifetime inner work, at least in this as a human beings, right? After my flesh die, I don't know where I'm gonna be, But as right now, it's going to be like a lifetime work until I die, you know? And it's uncomfortable, very uncomfortable time to time. But can you share with us how has been those uncomfortable moments, how you do to get better or to allow it, and yeah, how it is your journey regard to that uncomfortable feelings?
Yeah, be uncomfortable. There's been lots of times where I felt really trapped in my emotions or in situations and had to sort of call on my own beliefs, I suppose. I think that's how I've managed to get through it, is understanding myself and then knowing what my beliefs are around everything. So I'm quite firm now in what I believe. I mean, it could change because things do change, but my spiritual journey, I've done a lot of work with goddesses, and a lot of the inner work has been with different goddesses. And I've done the inner child, and I honor my inner child by, at the minute with my inner child, allowing the fun things that I wanted to do as a child. So the things that she loved and always wanted to do, like she always wanted singing lessons and never got them. So I now have singing lessons. Love my singing lessons. I know. And I'm joining an athletics club because I used to love running. And some other, just anything that I think that would be fun, I'm off to do it. I'm going to do it. Like honor the inner child. So that gets me through the things like that. And I think it's knowing that you're going to get through. That's how I've managed to get through the uncomfortable feelings. And I think I've got a very strong mindset because I've been working on it for the last 5 years. So it's a journey that's going to keep continuing. I do a personal development book every month. I'm in a book club where we do one every month because I just like to learn. You know what we're like? We want to learn. I am, and I do love it, don't we? And I think I am an old soul. Like, do you know the life numbers? Do you know when you get is it a life path number? I can't remember the official. I'd learn little bits of everything. But I am like a master number 11. So it's basically like very, very old soul and a lot of lessons to learn to get. You know, my belief is that we as souls come back to our human bodies and live a human experience because we all have lessons to learn. We come back for specific lessons. So this gets me through. When things feel difficult, I'm like, yes, it is difficult, but if I couldn't handle it, I wouldn't be going through it. This is one of my soul lessons. And so it's having that mindset of, I will get through it because I always have done. And this is a lesson for me. So all the things that I come against is, but what's the lesson? What can I take from it? How can I grow? Because this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, so there has been, and I can't even specifically think, well, there was when I was in burnout, and that's probably been the worst one because I was like, I didn't leave the house. I struggled to leave the house, couldn't go to the gym. Even if I wanted to, I knew it'd be good for me, but couldn't get myself there. But because I wasn't on the personal development journey, because I'd not connected spiritually, that was probably the most difficult one to overcome because I didn't know how to get myself out of it. Luckily, we had a really good team around, like our mental health team in the area were really good, and they jumped in and helped me. And I think maybe that was where I first started to think about a different approach, because they said, just go for a walk, you know, just go and have time on yourself. Do what feels easy. I thought, oh yeah, I don't need to make it this big thing. I can just do the next little step and the next little step. And it doesn't have to be a big complicated journey. It can be little things, like I say with the daily rituals. It's just adding these little things in that help keep that balance, because we can be so out of balance. So that was the most difficult one. And then other things as they've come, I've just got through them because it's lessons.
Yeah. Beautiful. Baby steps, I say, little baby steps. And for me, just like you, gotta be fun. Because if it is not fun, what is the meaning of life?
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Choose to not be miserable with myself. And because I choose that, I am just now, I'm gonna creative. What can I have fun with? And I have so much fun with my mind as well, just observing other people. and I can create stories on my mind and just like, oh, storytelling, right? Blah, 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 from the energy. And it is so cool. And I love roller coasters, anything that put my adrenaline, like the adrenaline, and just like to get, for me, the dopamine comes from adrenaline and cortisol moments, right? Combining. Okay, I'm going to do skydiving. Oh, I'm freaking out. I'm doing that, you know. So it's just like to overcome the fear, but it's more like on the physicality, because we experience life through our bodies, and because it's so intense, we seek for that intensity, for at least for me. And so I gotta have fun dancing, love shuffling, just like I have like a note music in here,
I love that.
because music, it's what just bring me life as well. And I love music festival and just dancing and just listening. It just, and then I go extremely, right? Electronic music to classical music.
That's an eclectic taste in music. That's what I have.
And then it's just like, and even I remember once I just took in a shower and then I was just like singing. I was at my ex-partner house. I was Saturday morning. I was singing. The music was electronic, and then I lay in the bed singing.
Where?
And then my partner got in the room. Are you okay? And then I say yes. I am just listening to music and feeling it. So for him was like, what the heck? This girl, probably she's not. But I was just in the mood of the music, just like just embodying all of the
Yeah.
energy. And so that's just the beautiful us. And you're talking about movement. Oh, love movement too. For me, doing sauna helps a lot to get my body moving and in a groove. And yoga, anything like running. For me, I have the best ideas whenever I'm running, and I don't listen to anything.
Yes.
It's just me and my body running and just like appreciating, and the downloads start to come in.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
sometimes I feel like overwhelmed, so many ideas that I have, and then how I'm going to apply to this, just like you mentioned. I love studying. I love intellectuality. Like how can I learn? And then I like to learn things because that's the way that just I feel excited about it. Or like, how can I create something and learning and looking and seeking an audiobook and talking like philosophy, all of those things that can stimulate my mind. Oh yes, I go for it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and see, this is so beautiful because it's just once we accept ourselves, right? And I invite you, they are listen to us, accept who you are. Really work on embracing your inner child needs, letting go, control, surrender, and trust in the process. Because once you trust in the process, you're going to start experience life in a different way. Instead of like experience life on the fight or flight, you're going to experience life being solid, grounded, peaceful, joyful, because this is our natural way of being, and it's our gift because that's who we are. But at the same time, we have all of this illusion in the mind that telling us what we are not.
Yeah.
And really like drop in your essence, letting go old beliefs, reprogram your mind, and just open to experience the unknown, because the unknown is the divine. It's love, it's compassion, it's fun, it's the beauty of life, which is it's just create. It's just infinite. I can stop
Absolutely.
talking forever
Love
because
that.
It is just it's the heart, right? And it's
Yeah.
just in our body. And our body
Yeah.
is just like receiving all of that. So I invite you to do that for yourself. So others is going to be around of you, and they're gonna feel it. And then they're going to start questioning, wait a second, what this person is doing. And that's how you can help other people to be the best version of themselves.
That's so true.
Yeah. Simone, we're coming to the end of our podcast.
Oh, I'm
So
sad. I've loved it. I've loved chatting to you. I love hearing how similar the experiences are and what you're doing, because I'm going to start with the diet, the sugar thing, definitely. So that's really helped me.
I'm gonna be checking on you, okay?
You can check.
as,
You
as,
definitely.
as accountable partner, because we need to
Yeah.
have accountability, right? So in that time, did I find actually I was with my partner. He was good on sugar, but he just support me in that decision. And after 1 month, that was previous my birthday, and then I got a dessert for my birthday as a reward. But nowadays I'm totally fine with sugar. I eat like fruits. I drink coffee when I drink without sugar, without anything. It's really a mindset, right? and
Yeah.
and, and you just need to set your why I'm
Yes.
doing this, looking for your why, and then your why is going to keep you in the track. And
Yeah.
then I would love to hear from that whenever you accomplish that, because girl, you're going to see your body just so aligned and light, I would
Yeah.
say, right? But also in the same time that you just having that release from the sugar, right? You're going to put that energy towards to another thing. So that's why I say ask for your why. Once you find the why, you're going to direct the energy towards another thing,
Yeah.
and you're gonna make it. And now
Absolutely.
I would love to ask you. You have this opportunity, the divine opportunity to spread a message around of the world, and everybody's going to see your message on the phone right now. What would be your message, Simone?
To hear my message to, oh, it always sounds so cheesy, but it would always be to lead with love. So just love, like send love out and receive love from others, because that is how we're going to change things and change the world and bring it back, because there's just not enough at the minute. And that having love for each other would just be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. Thank
That is,
you.
always sounds so cheesy, but I'm like, obviously it's love. It's just,
It's what and who we are. We are
yeah,
love. We are not like, oh, Amanda that has this, and this address. No, without this body, I am love. And,
yeah,
and, and it's the spirit part, the consciousness. It's just what we are. It's love. And we forget about that. And that's why we are here for it. you know?
exactly. Exactly. To look at what is the point? We've got to look after each other. Get to the end, and there's no point. What were we here for? It's not money. You can't take it with you. Like it's not. It's just what can you do? Like how can you serve? How can you help others? How can you help people grow?
Yeah, exactly. That's the unity, right? That's why we are a
Mm,
species. And how can we support each other? It's when we find who we are, when we find our core. That's how we spread,
yeah,
and that's our seeds. That's exactly what we're doing here. We are just planting the seed, and once we plant the seed, that seed will bloom. And
yeah.
when that blooms, so good.
That's what we need. We need more people to be brave enough to put their real self out there. Absolutely. Like you said, to bloom and to fully bloom and show the world and lead with that. That's what we
Yeah,
need.
yeah. Well, little by little, babe steps. That's
Yeah,
what we
daily rituals. Start with your daily rituals and then go from there.
exactly. Simone, and for you that are listening to us, please connect with Simone. We're gonna have her links on the bio and reach out. And if you feel like it, share your story. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, all of us. We really appreciate you. And see you. Stay connected and tuned for the next one. Bye. Stop.